Experience racing Speedway? Was it like when your dad sponsored and Scarlett's dad sponsored Rick Wood? Or did you go to the races as a kid? What was your first beginning of Speedway? What happened?
Well, yeah, Dennis's dad, Master Tony, and my dad sponsored Rick Wood. Through Ed Schaefer at the time. Through that time. But, so Ed Schaefer built two little junior Speedway bikes, one for Dennis and one for myself. And I think it was Ed Schaefer that built them. And the motors, there wasn't junior Speedway at the time. It wasn't allowed because of insurance. We had the only two bikes. And they had McCullough chainsaw motors in them. Can you imagine that?
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd.
And so Dennis's dad built us a track behind Orange County Food Service at the time. You could never do that these days because of noise and sound, or noise and pollution, all the crap that goes on.
Do you have a building permit, little boy? This is Orange County.
We had our own track back there, and we rode around that a few times. I think we even practiced maybe at Saddleback, and then there was also OCIR, Orange County International Raceway.
Orange County International Raceway Speedway. Come see it.
But we never got to race because they wouldn't allow us. Then we stepped up to the big bikes. I was stepped up a little sooner because of my age. Dennis is 3 years younger than I am, but he was really amazing on a motocross bike and a Speedway bike, but he wasn't old enough to start professionally. The day I turned 16 was my first race out at Irwindale, in third division. And I won that. And but that would probably be my first memories growing up. And my mom would have to take me to the track after school when we were on the big bikes. We had starting tapes. We had a fence around it, and it was great for us and a great way to learn. And then of course, third division I started and in the States, we had so many tracks back then. We were racing 5 nights a week. And again, if my grades dropped, my parents would say, sorry, you're not going to race. So I had to keep my grades up, and I was real lucky because I went to Newport Harbor High School. And they had developed what they call the Newport plan, and I could show up at 10 o'clock and I could get my own credits. Like for science, I was able to hike down to the bottom of the Grand Canyon and take samples. You can't touch that these days. And so I got 5 credits for science, and the list goes on. I rode with Mike Caruso around our track at Newport Harbor High School, and that was called my work experience. I got 5 credits. I was able to kind of shorten my day at school, and still, because when we're racing started at 8 p.m. at night back in those days in Bakersfield, Ventura. I wouldn't get home till 1 or 2 in the morning, and then have to get my butt up and go to school. So that Newport plan really helped me, and I was able to, graduate. And my grades dropped a little bit, but I was able to get my schoolwork done.
That's awesome. Yeah, I did the same thing. I mean, I was doing the same thing, but I had to go to school at 8 o'clock in the morning and go all day. It was terrible. I think I was sleeping. I was a terrible student. It was bad.
Yeah, I wasn't the greatest. I sure like that Newport plan though, because it really helped me.
That's really good. We had your buddy Dennis Segalos on the show before Christmas, and he was talking about that speedway track that you guys were riding on, practicing over in Anaheim behind the Orange County Food Catering Service, that 1 acre area, I guess, or something. And he's telling me about George Wynn built the starting gates and the track, and George Wynn was a genius, track builder. And stuff like that. And then I asked Dennis, I said, well, who won between you and Bruce? Because you guys must have raced. And Dennis kind of was like, well, we were just bumping shoulders. And I was like, Dennis, Bruce Penhall's going to race, okay? He's not going to go out there and just, fart around. I mean, he's going to say, okay, we got starting gates. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do some match races, I would. And he said, no, we just played around. But I can picture you racing, and I said, who won? And he said, I don't know, maybe Bruce, I don't know. I bet you beat Dennis's butt.
Well, you remember he was 3 years younger than I was, okay? And then, once I went up to the big bikes, he wasn't quite ready yet. However, it wasn't much longer when he did. And then I had to practice a lot more because, I'm getting ready to turn 16. So the most important thing was to do laps. Yeah, we made starts together and, let me tell you, Dennis was sensational, on a speedway bike, even at such a young age. And I remember, watching him at OCIR because I couldn't race there. It was not really the track that was sanctioned for a lot of us. It was kind of on the back end. So we didn't actually have to race together a lot until he actually turned 16, and then we were racing together. But we wouldn't have any sort of tussles at the track. It was making starts and making sure we did 6 or 7 laps, not 4 laps, and then handicap racing, of course. So we'd start behind a little bit. We were just doing laps, making sure we knew how to ride the motorcycle more than anything.
That's the main thing.